All right, we're back with another official Chatcast. It gets no more official than this.
Nope.
No, not according to us. Yeah, and that's the number one trusted source around here is us.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyways, banter aside, we're gonna dive into this. Kyle, we're kind of going through a format change in some ways. We're keeping the Monday, Wednesday, Friday video, but what we want to do is we want to condense and make the content a little more palatable, a little more marketable, make it a little more potent. And we've both come to a mutual agreement on this. We're totally stoked with how the videos are smaller now and they're kind of shorter form. What's your take on this angle? What does it get the juices flowing? Does it make you feel like you've got a little bit of pressure released? What's your train of thought on this?
I think it eases the burden of feeling like I have to constantly explain what I'm doing, because I feel like when I was like narrating everything I was doing, a lot of it was just, kind of repetitive. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to feel like, I don't want that to distract from just the fun of just, watching art being made or stuff like that.
Okay, perfect. And while I wholeheartedly agree with that, and then it gets you more involved into it. I wanted to touch briefly on that because I knew that recently I had done a vlog kind of discussing a little bit of a direction change. Reframing is probably a better way to say that. And then to accompany with that, we're going to do that kind of to everything. And that's what we're going to talk about next. We're not going to kind of do it to everything. We're doing it to everything.
Yeah.
And so Chatcasts are going to change too. The Chatcasts for the last 6 months that no one's been watching have been primarily... we just haven't put it out there.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
I just like making fun of ourselves.
I do too.
Yeah, we're not above that. So anyways, we were inspired by just life in general, but also Play-Doh. So before you guys really got a chance to see us and absorb us on the screen, the big screen, we had all these different iterations of this where we went through where we looked like two youth pastors with a webcam, which is kind of what we were.
Yeah.
And then we went through a thing where it was just kind of like these pseudo news things and it wasn't working. And then we went through this thing where we were going to do philosophy readings and different stuff like that. And that was kind of cool. But then all of a sudden this came to me and Kyle helped refine it and you kind of see what we have today. That was the very short version, and some of it you can actually watch the process taking place over the last 6 months of our YouTube videos. But we're kind of at a place to where the Chatcast, we wanted to start by talking about us since we aren't known to anyone, and so you can go back and listen to that stuff at any time that you want. We're moving forward from that now. For now, we're putting a bookmark in it. We've kind of exhausted the avenues for that. Not necessarily, I feel like we could talk about that forever, but it's just time as other things are changing to move in a different direction with all the other stuff. And so that's going to change. And Play-Doh influenced us to want to not only make our lives, this is one of the books that we read together while we were lifting weights and podcasting, that kind of, really we wanted to use as a foundation to introduce philosophy hopefully to new people like it's affected us, but also it started to inspire us on a personal level, at least me, and I know, and him too, so both of us at least. And the area that really stuck out was the way that Play-Doh had the groups of people broken up. And so that's kind of what we're going to put an emphasis and a focus on. In this video, I don't want to go super into detail of each person type,
right,
group type, because that's what we're going to do in the next couple of ones.
Okay.
So we're going to do kind of an overview of that. But so we're going to take our Chatcasts and our deep talks into an area where it's the philosopher component of the philosopher king that Plato mentions. What I like about this is that Plato's kind of generic, kind of has a generic, like the culture wasn't developed the way that it is now, so nuanced, right? And the way that a lot of ancient cultures thought of themselves was a lot more communal versus how we are now, because of just how symbiotic relationship you had to have for survival. You couldn't just go to the store and buy some shoes. You had to be friends with the shoe guy, or at least know one, to try to get yourself some decent kicks, you know what I mean? So you could do your job. right? You needed to know this, and so you had to be more connected. And so a lot of their stuff isn't so much about these individual fractured people groups. It was they like to analyze and look at things as the whole, because how's it going to help the nation? How's it going to help the community? How's it going to help the tribe, right? And that's kind of the vibe that we're picking up for this, and I feel like it's very appropriate because it will be more inclusive and not as exclusive, because the principles, in our opinion, are very broad and for the every man, the every woman, the every creature, right? And so, with that being said, I don't want to ramble on too much more. I've been talking for an awfully long time, and I want some Kyle energy on this video before we wrap it up. What vibrations are you putting off when I'm going over this overview of introducing this philosophy component to the brand and the way that we're representing stuff?
I mean, the initial energy that I'm going off of is I just wanted to specify too that the thing that I'm pulling out of it is like something this big from a work that's really thick.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm gonna try and dissect, because the whole book itself is about trying to create like the ideal society for the good of the country. And that's not necessarily what I'm pulling out of this that I found so inspiring. It was there was one individual in that book that was this well-rounded individual type that I thought was really inspiring and that I try to, like, I guess, assimilate in myself. And so that's where I'm going to be focused. So don't, like, expect me to just really rip into each individual thing and go in the direction that he's going. I just kind of wanted to focus on that person type and how we think it involves in our brand.
Perfect. I agree with that, and that's a nice way to kind of polish up what I was saying.
Yeah.
Because you're right. You're absolutely right. We're not like nerding out hardcore on Plato. We're using it as a starting point to try to build, an idea, born an idea from it, our own idea from his starting point.
Yeah.
Because that's a very early on thing. Anyways, great. So I just wanted to do a quick chatcast. It was a quick update on how all that's going along and where our train of thoughts are from there. And so until the next one, what we're going to do is we're going to start going through these groups that Plato lays out and kind of talking a little bit briefly about the different aspects of them, because that's what we want to see to try to pull into us to make us better, essentially, and to hopefully inspire you to do some goodness in your own life. So next week, peace.